Exactly 8 o'clock. A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is, I think, another year, 6th January 2026, our first Dhamma Tuesday class for the year 2026. So as usual, we will gather and have our physical puja. Okay. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, that mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无文殊菩萨。南无文殊菩萨，南无文殊菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无准提菩萨，南无准提菩萨，南无准提菩萨。南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎瓦，布当巴嘎วัน当阿比瓦提米。swā kā tō bhagavata dhammo Dhammang namasami Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sanghang namami Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi Patiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Surameraya majapamadatana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Kanna sarapatitena Dipena tamadang sina Diloka dipang sambuddhang Pujayami Thamo nudang Ganda sambara yutena Dopena hang sugang hina Pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamang Vanna ganda gunupetang Etang kasuma santatin Pujayami monindasa Ipada rohe Yemi bedang kasumena nena Punnena matena cha hotu mokhang Pupang milayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang Adivase tuno bhante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bhante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bhante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttamang. Okay, now we shall chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses out the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of all karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May all these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect to Puja. Bedang pujayami. Dhammang pujayami. Sanghang pujayami. Learning to develop this awareness-based meditation is very important. That is the basis of training the mind to be aware, stabilizing it to be ever mindful, and use it to develop the cultivation, which is the learning of the Dhamma, to develop wisdom, and that will accumulate into heedfulness. To be heedful is the first, most important requirement for enlightenment. That's why, according to Lord Buddha, if you are not heedful, means you are heedless. And according to his Dhammapada, verse 21, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never die. Whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. Those who are heedless, who never train their mind, they are as if dead. Means spiritually they don't stand a chance. So this is very important understanding. The seriousness of having trained your mind to be heedful, to be ever mindful, constantly meditative, so that you can really develop the cultivation to progress along the path of Dhamma. That's why awareness-based meditation is very important. And to develop this inner awareness is very simple. You only need to understand that your mind, before you train, is heedless. It thinks a lot, it wanders off very fast. It's constantly lost in thought, clinging to all the reaction to sense experience. Your mind stir and react to sense experience, following your views, opinion, conditioning and belief system, etc., including your fear, your phobia, your insecurity, and all your like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience arising and passing away within every moment of living life. If that is the case, then you are heedless. So to train this, you don't have to do anything actually. You only need to understand. The moment you are without thought, you are already aware. So how can we be in this state of tranquility, stillness, without thought? You can only be in this state if you know how to relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize that awareness within, so that you can train your mind to be mindful, then stabilize it to be ever mindful. That is the first part to develop heedfulness. So to be mindful is to be aware without the thought process. And to do that, you must allow the thought to settle down. Naturally settle down. Please don't give it any more attachment, clinging or meaning. Just let the mind be free. Whatever arises is of the nature to cease. Silence everything. Don't try to know, don't try to do, and allow the mind to be. Our mind is motivated by all the thought energy that we manifest through delusion. If we can accept the way things are, the way nature is, then we can be at ease, at peace with all situations in life. Then we don't need to think. Technically, we can just relax, maintain awareness, then stabilizing the awareness. Just train your mind to have this ability. Then you will realize the true mind, which is tranquility, stillness, and without any thought process. So that tranquil, quiet and still mind is your meditative mind. That one is without thought. That one is just aware. When you can be aware before the knowing, before the perception, before the arising of sankhara activity, that is sati, mindfulness, awareness. So the first three support that I have explained, relax body and mind until your mind settles down, then allow the awareness within to stabilize. Means maintaining the awareness without arising the thought. And to do that, initially it may not be easy because you are so conditioned in the way you live your life. Your thought like continuously arising and passing away. We call this the mundane thinking, which is in a way heedless thinking, born of delusion, ignorance. When you are not mindful, aware, the thought arises, it thinks a lot. And thought is respond to memory, because we hold on to so much thing in life. You accumulated them through memories, good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome, thereby creating all the karmic conditioning, karmic activity and movement, triggering of the paticca samuppada, especially the first two links. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Avijja is ignorant. Depending on ignorance, you create sankhara activity, which is thought activity or thinking. That's how you become heedless. You think a lot. Thought activity, when it arises, it clouds your true mind. Your true pure awareness nature within is being clouded. So ability to really meditate is to relax, maintain awareness, and silence everything. Just do that. Then for those who already developed the cultivation and know how to meditate, you can move on to the fourth support. The fourth support is relatively simple and easy, because by then the first three support can allow you to be relaxed, ability to maintain awareness until it's very stable. That means your mind can be at the location you want it to be, without thought, where you have trained. So what you need to do is just silence everything, stay at the heart area, and let the awareness nature within pick up whatever that arises via trust. Trusting your inner nature, your true mind or true nature to develop the meditative movement or activity. Then whatever this pure awareness nature detect, just be with it, means aware, means whatever arises, whatever phenomena, the awareness nature just stay with it, be with it. Then this movement, which is a result of your ability to trust that nature to develop the meditative movement and cultivation on its own, will manifest as the ultimate cultivation of the higher understanding. You can do the fourth support very well. That is real meditation. Means you meditate without any interference from your thoughts, your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system. You just trust the nature within to develop the movement. That's why the fourth support is trust, T-R-U-S-T. Trusting the inner nature, the pure awareness nature, to develop the movement by itself, to locate the gateway to your nature on its own. And you can do it well. you will progress very fast. Okay, with this, I will let you meditate on your own. Then I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. Okay, you can slowly, mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed and stabilized for as long as you can. These are the mind states that can allow you to meditate throughout the day, to be in the state of heedful awareness or alertness throughout the day. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Beso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sukhato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarti Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaiko Ehipaseko Upanayiko Pajatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. Then we will continue from where we stopped. We actually were going through the Bodhisattva vows, the 4 basic vows. Then the paragraph before that was, don't ever forget these vows. And you have to be vigorous. Always base your cultivation upon these four vast vows. The Bodhisattva vows are very vast in the sense that it is designed to actually help the cultivator that develop the faith and understanding to go this way, to perfect themselves to become Sammasambuddha. The reason being, the first vow is out of love and compassion to actually take a cross and liberate all living beings throughout the 3 periods of time within the entire existence. And that one you have to develop the very strong understanding, the faith, the sincerity, the understanding to go this way. And it can only be done out of love and compassion. And this love and compassion is the pure mind that integrates itself into the nature's law that governs life and existence. Because the moment the cultivator realizes sainthood way, maximum 7 lives, they will definitely become Arahant. And once you become an Arahant, you actually cannot come back through the normal way of rebirth, means rebirth due to ignorance, born of avijja. So in order for the cultivator of the way to come back, they need to have this vow. And this vow is very vast, because the vow entails a lot of what they call hard work and a lot of cultivation to perfect it and to develop it, yes, to take across all living beings, so that they too can gain enlightenment and realize Nibbana in the here and the now, thereby enabling them to liberate their mind. And that task is not easy, because the limitless living beings throughout the entire existence, you cannot finish. It is a very, very vast cultivation. That's why you have to have that understanding. Then the second vow is to actually develop the understanding, the wisdom to endure and severe all suffering whenever the form and mind arise. That's why you vow to endure and severe all suffering. And to have the ability, you must have the full wisdom, perfection of all wisdom. Otherwise you cannot do it. And that vow can actually bring forth the way for this extensive and vast cultivation. Then the third vow is to enhance the second vow. You vow to cultivate the limitless Dhamma door, to realize the limitless wisdom, so that all of wisdom can be perfected. Then finally, you cultivate the 10 paramitas until full perfection, so that you can realize Sammasambuddhahood. And all these are very vast vows, very heavy vows. That's why these 4 vows, go back to your notes. It is stated in the sutta. Always remember means don't ever forget these vows. And you have to be very vigorous, very sincere, and develop the faith. Then always base your cultivation upon these 4 vast vows. It's not only heavy vow, but it's very vast. The scope and the understanding behind. Then we move on. Then the sutta continue. and the cart were adorned with pole-stud nets spread above them. Wherein you will say that these nets, perhaps woven out of golden cord, were valuables. What do they represent? They stand for the Buddha's compassion. The Buddha's gate of compassion are as abundant as the nets. Exactly how many are there? There are as many as the openings in the nets. Didn't we talk about the great Brahma net before? The net mentioned here and those nets are similar. There is a precious pearl in each hole of the net, and those pearls glitter with light. Each pearl reflects the light of all the other pearls as they illuminate each other or one another. This kind of light represents the Buddha's wisdom light. Like the myriad openings in the net, the Buddha has boundless many gates of compassion, therefore with golden cords strung around them and pearl-studded nets represent the Buddha's compassion and wisdom. So when you become Sammasambuddha, when you have perfected it and realize it, you become they call it the fully enlightened one, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. That's why they call it the bipeds. Biped doesn't mean only the two-footed. Biped means they have the embodiment of virtue and wisdom. And this virtue and wisdom is the basis from which Sammasambuddha and fully enlightened beings manifest. Then I will read on. The nets were spread above, just as the Buddha's great compassion sheltered all living beings. There were golden flower tassels hanging everywhere. Golden flower tassels represent the spiritual power of the four methods of attraction. The efficacy of this method depends on how you cultivate them. The more sincere you are, the more power you will have. If you are not very sincere, your power will be proportionately less. So the four methods of attractions are the four kinds of strength. What are the four? The first of the four methods of attraction is giving, means Dana Parami, generosity. The power of giving comes through sincerity, born of understanding. It cannot be forced. Why do we need to develop this generosity parami or dana parami to give? It is because all living beings are selfish or greedy. There is a saying, if you want to lead a living being to the Buddha's wisdom, first bait the hook with something they crave for or desire. If you want people to attain Buddha's wisdom, you must first give them some benefits. Baiting the hook means giving them whatever they wish for, to grant a wish or to cultivate giving, dana parami. Those who cultivate the bodhisattva path or way must cultivate this dana parami. What are the dana that you can offer or give? You give everything. That's why the final test is you have to give up everything. If someone wants your head, you give your head to him. If someone wants your hand, you give your hand to her. If someone wants your head, your eyes, your brain, and your marrow, you must be willing to give them away. This heart of giving must be without the atta, or we call it the egoic mind, the self. Why are cultivators able to develop this ability to give, or to develop that ability to offer or donate through generosity? If you are free of the conception of self, then you can give. Once you have an I or the ego, you will start thinking selfishly. Gosh, if I give this away, then I won't have it anymore. What will I do? And so, you are unable to give. You must forget about yourself. Forget both self and others. Think, giving is my job. I am supposed to cultivate giving, or Dana Parami. Bodhisattvas resolve to cultivate giving on a big scale. This is the first of the 4 methods of attraction. So this is what Hsuan, through his commentary, has actually offered as his explanation to you all. But for me, I understand it slightly differently due to my own cultivation. You see, Dana Parami is a parami that can help us in the path towards this fulfillment of Samasa Buddhahood. That's why in the teaching, the Buddha actually cited it very clearly. I just write down on the whiteboard. He said, in the essential Dhamma, he always advised the cultivator of the way to develop these 3: Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. This is the basis of cultivation. So Dana is generosity. And generosity is a parami, a virtue that cultivator of the way need to cultivate. You have to cultivate with understanding. So the reason why the Buddha put this Dana first, above Sila. Sila is morality, precepts. This one is morality, to protect you, to avoid you from falling. If you don't have Sila, means your moral values are not kept. So if you cannot keep your precepts, because the 5 precepts are the basis of life. Without keeping the 5 precepts, it will condition living being into what they call suffering. Because these 5 precepts, if you don't keep them, if you violate them, it constitutes major evil. And the law of karma is very precise. You reap what you sow. So if you break these precepts, this is the basis of cultivation, basis of avoiding all evil, then you will land yourself into big trouble where you don't have morality. You don't have the understanding, the right view to keep yourself in correct perspective and don't violate the nature's law of karma. So this Sila is actually very powerful and very important. And this is a virtue. And it's also a meritorious action. Virtue in the sense that when you have sila, you have virtue. And virtue is the one that protects you from falling, from committing what they call 3 evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, leading to karmic negativity and downfall. Then bhavana, which is the meditative discipline, is to train yourself to develop the wisdom so that you can free your mind, so that you need not suffer. Suffering need not be. So you look at the tree. The reason why the Buddha put dana as the first one is because without dana parami, actually, it is very difficult to survive in our existential world, or what we call the conditioned world of life and existence. Because dana parami, you have to understand it differently, not as what Shenhua put it, that is very basic. You see, dana parami doesn't mean you give, you got no more. That's why most people are reluctant to give. They are not trained to develop this dana parami. But you must also have wisdom when you perform this dana parami. If you don't have wisdom, you can be deluded, and you can do it actually wrongly. Means you crave to do merits. And when you crave to do merits, that is not pure merits. That is tainted means not pure, tainted. Because there is this greed, and greed is one of the 3 evil roots. It's not a virtue. It is like you donate because you have this selfishness. You want reputation, understand? You want people to know that you are generous. So all these are tinted merit. But when you have condition to make offering through understanding, you will do it. And the 3 criteria that makes the dana parami the highest is according to the Abhidhamma that I used to share with you all. Somanasa sahagatang, then jnana sampayutang, then asankarikam. That one means, somanasa means at all time. When you do that generosity action or offering, before you do and after you do, you must maintain joy, happiness, and understanding. So that joy that actually condition you to do, because you do it with a lot of what they call joy, a lot of like this type of that type of mind, how you call it. I remember that day at the house dana. You remember Wai Fan shared towards the end? He said he got a lot of joy after doing that house dana. Oh, because that joy just erupts inside. Before they do, they already have the joy because they realize these are very rare opportunity and conditioning, and people help them to have the what they call causes and condition to request and to finally materialize. Then after they do, they also have a lot of joy. So that type of parami is the highest. That's why asankarikam is spontaneous, no need to be prompted. You do because you know this is beautiful, wonderful, and something beneficial to all. It's something that we can develop as a parami. So dana, Once you do, according to the law of karma, you reap what you sow. Do good begets good, do evil begets evil. Then the more you donate, the more you give, the more you receive. You understand that sentence? Because that is the law of karma. Once you give with understanding, with the what they call highest merits or action of Dana Parami, that one manifests into your merits within your karmic nature and spiritual nature. And because you have generosity, because you give, you help, you actually help in many, many ways through your offering. You relieve people's suffering or people's need for food or whatever, or education or anything. That's why generosity is very wide. It's not only materialistic dana, means you offer food, you offer money and all those things. Generosity includes the gift of life, like you donate blood, donate organ. When you understand that if anything were to happen, if your organ can still help people, you undertake. Nowadays they allow you to sign up and give. Of course, the highest one is the gift of truth. You understand? The gift of materialistic good is the first level. Then the gift of life, the second level. The third one is the gift of truth. Gift of truth means what? You share the Dhamma. You share the understanding. You become like Kayamita. You can develop this, what they call understanding, to motivate. Then encourage, support fellow Kayamita to walk the path of Dhamma. Then bring forth the condition for them to learn, to cultivate. And those who help out in the Dhamma activity and work actually perform a lot of those type of merits. Then sometimes by making offering, like our Kayamita Fund, to all the books that we come out with through my talk and transcript and all those things, and sometimes donate to WAVE and all those things, where these are proper work that can benefit the living beings and enable them to receive truth or Dhamma. All this can bring forth a lot of Dana Parami. So the three levels of giving, the gift of materialistic good, the gift of life, and the gift of truth. And once you have this, the nature's law is very strange. Like when I share Dhamma with you all, it's like the gift of truth. But these are not easy to do. You must have that cultivation to enable you to do. And when you have the cultivation and ability to do, you become so different. The way I give is based on my understanding, my wisdom, and my cultivation, my nature. That's why when I arise at any one time, I will receive back all this understanding of truth. But this is the way nature's law is. The more you give, the more you receive. And the way I share is so penetrative. That's why when I come, even this life, this particular segment of my nature's coming, in the early day, I receive all this Dhamma and understanding very fast. Yeah, that is the way it happened. Similarly, if you have this Dana Parami, which can be materialistic wealth, there are many examples during the Buddha's time. Ananda Pitnika, who is very rich, bought the whole piece of land and donated to the Buddha as the monastery. He became so rich, it's not because of he very smart at that line. No, his past life parami. He has done a lot of materialistic donation. That's why he will receive this wealth. And a lot of wealthy people, they also have this dana parami. You look at all the great philanthropists, they have a lot of dana parami. And they help people in many ways. And those who like donate blood or donate organ or help out in all these things, actually develop a lot of merits also. And when in time of need, when they need blood donation, organ donation, they can receive a lot because they have done this. Understand? And during the Buddha's time, there were also examples. There was one monk, I remember. He got a lot of dana parami. He donated a lot of warm clothing to poor people and to monks and all those things who live in very severe, harsh conditions. So that the Buddha, being the Buddha, Sammasambuddha, he has the what they call spiritual penetration to understand. Then he will tell the monk, if you are going there, you bring this guy along. Yeah. You will have food, you will have warm clothing, everything. His dana parami, materialistic one, is very powerful. So all these are the reason why dana parami has to come first. Then like I explained to you all before, yeah, to cultivate, to go into cultivation, to develop the morality, sila, and the bhavana, cultivation, to develop wisdom, so that you are not deluded, so that you can have the wisdom to liberate your mind. What do you need? Yeah? What do you need in life? You think everybody can just go into the cultivation, develop all this? No. First, you must have what? At least the 4, what they call basic need of life. Understand? The essential food, shelter, and what? Huh? Apart from food, shelter, you must have money to do dana. You must have the understanding to perform dana. Sometimes dana no need to have money. Like you radiate metta. It's a type of giving, the gift of love. The gift of what they call understanding, which is could be Dhamma or whatever. Then when you give, sometimes the giving can be in the form of like meritorious action. Means you give your what they call service, understand, to help out in the community or in the Buddhist activity and organization. So this type of giving doesn't really need money. Then sometimes you become like a supportive group. You volunteer to be maybe a committee member, or even like our Kaimita grouping. Within our Kaimita, there are a lot of volunteers that volunteer their service to organize retreat, help organize spiritual trip, then become treasurer or whatever. So all this, when you start to develop them, you, through the nature's law, develop the parami. The more you give, the more you receive. It's the same meaning. Because when you help people, people will help you. When you are generous and help others, when the time comes, whatever you have given is your generosity parami. And this wealth will come to you without you knowing. My brother, the youngest one, I told you all before, last time he don't believe in all this. Then he very naughty. He almost, my father, my mother also give up already. Like, no more hope. But yet, when I talk to him, explain to him, he turned around. Why? when he saw me becoming very successful, then he wants to know what is the secret behind and how I do it. Then I said, because he Malay medium now that time, he Chinese school, he don't have, he hardly can communicate in English at that time, a lot of problem. And I English educated now. I said, I cannot be teaching you Dhamma in the dialect of our family, Hakka. I said, cannot. So I said, okay, you go Tzu. That's why I sent him to Tzu. And then he learned, not much of course initially. Then he asked me a lot of questions. Then I explained to him. Then after I explained to him, he understands. No? Yeah. That's why in the Mahayana tradition, you go there, they will tell you 3 things based on Noble Eightfold Path. What are the 3 things? Huh? Right thought is what? 做好事. Eh? 说好话. The other? Have good thought, understand? So, from there, he came to understand that this is part of Noble Eightfold Path. Pa Chen Dao. That's why from there, he starts to understand. If you do good, if you develop all this parami, then this goodness will come to you. Because you don't violate the karmic law. So if you have right thought, right speech, right action, born of right view, then you have a lot of parami. That's why after that, you know what he told me? He said, okay. He said, I also want to try. I also want to cultivate, practice. I said, okay. Wait till you make some money. Every time you make some money, you come and see me. Then I help you do the donation. And you find out yourself. And you know what he told me? Because actually I promised him. I said, if as long as you don't do all those funny things, you change over to a new way of living, then if you can save 10,000, you come and see me. I help you to invest and make the money. And he somehow very smart also. He told my father, and my father immediately gave me a call. He said he got money already. I said, how can he? Haven't even worked for 3 months. He said, I lend him. But the money never come. He said, okay. He 10,000, I 10,000, 20,000, you go ahead invest. But he never sent the money. But also because of parami, that time public bank still very small bit. So I said, okay, I buy. I bought public bank. And from that 20,000, they made 40,000. Within 3 months. So 6 years. Wow, he don't believe. Then he said, okay, help him to donate. Then when I help him to donate, he feel, somehow money come to him, through proper means. Means he somehow, like very lucky, very fortunate. Everything he start to do that time, the money like flow to him. Then later he also learned how to invest. I say, you don't know English, how to teach you? Then he go and check dictionary, Then I had to teach him basic financial statement and economics, so as to learn how to understand the stock markets, what they call. You see, when you want to choose a stock, you must understand their financial figure and their financial statement and all those things, and what they do, and how you actually end up screening the proper stock that will allow you to invest properly and develop the profit. Then whatever he touch on or whatever business he go in, he like very lucky, Then the money keep on coming to him. That's why every time he make the money, he will call me, he will donate. He will call me, he will donate. Then finally now he know what to do already. That's why all this, they can really manifest, if you understand. So this Dharma Parami, once you have, it will give you all the good condition to have the good life, to develop the cultivation, understand? I think a good example is Wai Fan and Chan. Last time, the younger day, when they started. Yeah? You heard the story during the house dana. Yeah? It was not easy, and he was left with 5 ringgit at one time. Yeah? And buy the lunch, actually no more money. But luckily, wife got a salary. So at that time, you ask them to cultivate. Where got time? Because Maslow's need hierarchy. You know what is a need hierarchy? The basic need that a human being needs to live the proper life, to survive, is not there. And the most important is food and shelter. And after you have food and shelter, you need to build up a family, develop the financial freedom and all those things. That's why it's not easy. They strive very hard. But then later on, when they can develop it to a stage where their life has become much better, like Chan say, after a while the business become different. He was able to develop maybe the first million and all those things, then can actually become more stable in his financial ability and all those things. Then can provide for the family, the children, the education, everything. Then they start to look for the Buddhist teaching. They want to learn meditation. That's how they search. And because of the condition, this Dana Parami helped them. Then with this, it's very easy, much more easy to cultivate. Otherwise, without the Dana Parami, you think easier, even as a lay person, because you have a lot of duty to attend to, needs. And without the Dana Parami to support you, it's not easy. If you are a cultivator before, then you don't worry. Like this, I come, while I was working, I also can cultivate because of my understanding and my past and all those things. I don't have to wait till financial freedom to develop this, to go into this. And I don't have to wait for suffering to come knocking. Then only I search for all this. It just happened. But once you have developed the Dana Parami, I realize most cultivators will have this, but not necessarily all. Understand? Because I saw a lot of great monks and Zen masters or what. Not all have good Dana Parami, but most of them have. Even Hsuan Lao和尚, you remember? He lived until 120 years old, but he endured a lot of hardship, you realize, during his time. He was actually very poor at that time, but he wanted to do it. But because of his parami, he endured. His temple that he tried to rebuild and all those things was robbed many times, plundered many times. And during the war and all those things, a lot of things happened. Then even a lot of what they call maybe I should say very well practiced monks or what. Initially when they started, it was not easy, understand? Like the 慈济 one, the 正言法师 one, 正言法师. You go and read the life history. She was actually when she started, she was actually without much support. But she had the parami and persevere. And the parent, I think, passed away quite early, if I'm not wrong, I remember. Then he finally managed to make it. But when his time come, when he make it, then the Dana Parami manifests. Because he did a lot of good things, like this life. After he make it, he developed the full use of this Dana Parami. That's why he called 慈济. 慈 is 慈悲, compassion. 济 is 救济 during calamity or whatever. Means nature's disaster or whatever. She helped out. And because of that, a lot of offering, a lot of donation, and people have faith in her, trust and all. That's what they do. Then all the great Buddhist tradition also same. When they started, it was not easy. But after a while, this Dana Parami actually supported them. Yeah. So what I'm trying to explain to you is, Dana, when you understand and when you have the means, you will do. But initially, even before you have the means, it doesn't mean that you need a lot of materialistic wealth to do Dana. No. You do with understanding, especially when you are cultivating. Develop a lot of virtue, like contentment, generosity. Then you radiate metta. All this no need money on. Understand? Then rejoicing. Sadhu, sadhu. You receive merits, share merit, transfer merits. All these are giving. And doesn't need money. But you have to have a trained mind, a well-developed mind. You must have virtue. When you have virtue, you have a lot of merits, a lot of wholesomeness. Because virtue is the basis of what they call right action, right speech, and right thought, arising from right view. Without virtue, there is no real merit. And that is very important to understand. Whatever you do, if there is no virtuous understanding born of wisdom, there can be no real merits. Because all these merits need understanding. And virtue, the real virtue, comes from wisdom. Without wisdom, there is no true virtue. So this understanding is the basis of understanding all the parami, the 10 perfections. And the first one is Dana Parami. That's why this Dana Parami, you must learn to develop them, cultivate. You don't have to have wealth to do it initially. But once you are successful, based on the whatever teaching, then you will come to realize that somehow that Dana Parami will manifest and you will know what to do. And like I said, not only materialistic giving, it can be gift of life, gift of truth, and helping out in whatever service or activity, especially the 10 meritorious action. So, and all this can be manifested when you have Kayamitas, when you join the, what they call, the cultivation. When you start the cultivation, you will develop all this, what they call, causes and conditions for you to receive all this teaching. And through understanding the teaching, you put it into practice, and it will manifest and show it to you. Then you develop the faith, the confidence. Then it will drive you. Then you realize virtue is very important. The first most important virtue is sincerity. When you are sincere, you cannot do wrong thing. Then when you have sincerity, you will have faith. Understand? But this is what you want, and this is what life demands. If you cannot understand this, see this, then you will not go all out to cultivate this. That's why sincerity will lead to what they call faith. And the faith will drive you to cultivate. Then you only need to persevere. Understand? Persevere means diligently cultivate. Then develop the sincerity and the faith to cultivate diligently. Then develop the understanding to cultivate affinity with Triple Gem. And develop more and more of this Dana Parami to support you. Then keep your precepts. That is virtue. It will protect you. Karmic downfall, no more. And to me, this is a better way to cultivate Dhamma Parami. So what I want to say is, when you have the understanding, then later on the means, then wherever there is condition to do wholesomeness, you do. So the important qualification is, whenever you have the condition to do, then only you do. Don't be a good-hearted fool. Ayo, must help lah. They are so poor, they got so much problem, all those things. That is not the way to do Dhamma Parami, understand? If there is no condition, just let things be. Yeah, the whole world is full of what they call maybe I explain it in two ways. First way is full of not so sincere people, understand? A lot of them tap on your, what they call, so-called generosity, and they call you a good-hearted fool. Means they prey on your generosity. Means they know you very fond of doing merits, because you attach to a merit or doing good. So they prey on your that weakness. That's why they will come. Nowadays very common. In the early days more common. You go to coffee shop or any other normal restaurant where you have your lunch or your dinner meal. A lot of these people come actually asking for offering donation only. I do not deny sometimes there are genuine ones, but seldom. Because I realize once you start to give or pamper, more and more will come. You go to India, you go to Nepal, you will know. Never do that in the street. Because for me, it's very simple. These people are just the way they are. Understand? The world is full of suffering beings. How many can you help? Understand? If there is no affinity, no karmic conditioning and all those things, just forget about it. Just go about your life. If you want to do good wholesomeness, there are so many ways, and so much better than donating like that to all these type of people. Because when you understand already, even your own cultivation, keeping precept is such a great merit, meritorious, a great virtue. Then whatever wholesome thought, metta that you read is so wholesome. Then your understanding, you rejoice. These are all very meritorious. Then you radiate love, metta, wish people well-being and all those things. And loving kindness is a very powerful Dhamma Parami. And you can develop it so easily. Then if you want to do wholesomeness, make sure that thing that you donate to or offer to is genuine, meets the actual needs. Sometimes you are a good-hearted fool. A lot of these are bogus ones, especially nowadays online. They send to you, then they tell you a sad story, then they give you the account. Find out first. If it's genuine, you want to make offering, it's up to you. But most of the time, unless it's done by certain honorable organization that has proven themselves, otherwise, try to avoid. Not all are genuine. So the understanding is, there are a lot of people who actually prey upon your compassion or generosity, then to actually take advantage of you. Then sometimes they come in many other cunning ways to seek support and all those things. Not only you develop the what they call Dhamma understanding, then you say, hey, this is good, this is wholesome, this is meritorious. I must do, I want to do. Can, provided you understand. That's why I use the word provided there is condition to do, means towards genuine one. Otherwise, avoid to be a good-hearted fool, to be like drawn into foolish activity. Then sometimes when you don't develop the understanding yourself, you're too eager to make donation or contribution. Sometimes even printing book, you have to be careful. Not all Dhamma book are genuine, understand, or have the real understanding of the Dhamma. So, if you support certain type of books, then in future when you come, you will receive those type of books, understand? So you have to be careful. If you have not developed the understanding, the cultivation, refrain from doing it if you are unsure. But when you are sure, when you are so cultivated and benefited, then no harm, no problem, understand? That's why all this is to let you have the understanding. So don't just be like too eager to do good. That one can backfire sometimes. So to cultivate, to develop merits, wholesomeness, you must also have the wisdom and the understanding. That's why understanding causes and condition is very important. Then you can sense deep within your nature whether these are genuine or not. If you are in doubt, forget about it. Just say, it's okay. But if you can see really sincere and people need, no harm, give some money or offer something. You can help people out. But sometimes you do already, then like nowadays, you got the social media, internet, like our case in SS2. We came across in the early days, I think 10 or 15 years ago, there was one lady, quite elderly, keep on asking people for small money, whatever amount. Then last time, people don't know, you give. Then later on, it came out in the social media. This one had been seen by a lot of people. And sometimes you give, even the shop, he will come and ask for some free meal or whatever. Then they know she has been doing all this. Then they try to get rid of her. But it's not easy. Then he go and get somebody else to come and pay for her and all those things. Until become notorious. The word is notorious. Then nowadays, I think a lot of people know it. They just ignore her. Understand? Where there are people who are like that. So, understanding is the basis behind. But please don't get me wrong. I'm not discouraging you from doing wholesome activity and merits. You have to find it out yourself. Develop the understanding yourself. Then just do. Then the other advice is, after you do, even people tell you bogus one, don't feel upset. Because the more important is when you give, you just give. That's it. Whether that person is sincere or not, it's not so important. But try to have the wisdom not to make the offering in such a way that karmically, you reap what you sow. If this is what you give, that type of parami will come back to you. So you have to be careful. So that giving is, like I said, there are so many ways to develop wholesomeness, generosity, and all those things. Certain type of very basic one, if you're not sure, no need to do one. By keeping your precept, cultivating, you already develop a lot of wholesomeness. Understand? Why you still want to have all this? But when there's condition, no harm. When you can afford, when you have the means. That's why I also donate, help people. And most of this, those that have affinity, you will know. You will encounter them in life. And wherever you can help, you should just help. Like in the early days, I remember my family member. Every time New Year or what, we go back, we will discuss. Then whoever need help, we will together, all my siblings, brothers, sisters, or whatever, we will help. We will help. Yeah. And this is more meaningful. Understand? Yeah. Oh, almost 10 o'clock already. Okay, I have to finish. We go back to that part, the notes. So the first one we finish, yeah? Okay, so the Dana Parami I explained already. So I think we stop here, huh? We mark this part. Yeah. So you see, the second method of attraction is kind word. 说好话. Yeah. So all these are very wholesome. The physical class, we have quite a number of us here. We have Brother Chan, Wai Fan, then Freddie, Alicia, Han, Cindy, PG, Elsie, I miss out Elsie, Song, my wife, Sui, and Jin Hao, and Chupoliana. Did I miss out anybody else? Yeah. Then online we also have a few. Eng Bi, Lin, Hee Cheong, Man Yuan, and Po Cheng. Okay. Anybody wants to come in? Say? Jin Hao. Oh, did she retreat? Oh, you want to share? Alicia nominated you.
Good evening, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Kalamita.
Yeah.
Actually, nothing much to report, is it? I found that this time my mind is much easier to settle down. For the first few days, I was doing the Anapana. Until the fifth day, I can feel my heartbeat, is it? And then I was just stay on with the heartbeats. I have few, not to say understanding, but I realized that when I was staying in my heartbeat, you see, from time to time, there are few patterns, you know, the heartbeat sort of like changes.
Yeah.
Right, changes. And I sort of like, you know, also realized that my breath is much subtle and soft.
Yeah.
All right. But one thing is like, you know, the thought is still lingering behind.
Never mind.
Still lingering behind. It carried on for the next few days, you see. I was like struggling, like, you know, pulling back here until one day I sort of like realized that it was like Anapana. When during Anapana, there was thought also, you see. So I would just let it just stay on the breath, you see. And when I was realizing the heartbeat and I stay on the heartbeat, it was, the thought is here, yeah. So I was staying the same. Until the last night, I heard one of your talks, you see, saying that because I have this issue last time also.
Yeah.
That time you advised me stay at Anapana until it reaches Pasati.
Yeah.
Only then I go back to my heartbeat, is it?
Yeah. Otherwise you go to your heartbeat for what? No use, because you haven't stabilized.
Right.
Once you stabilize, it's different. Once you stabilize, the awareness will develop. So you have to remember, Chin Hao, because you are not clear about the whole cultivation. The focus is what? To train your mind to be aware. That's it. Don't try to know. Don't try to know whether your anapanasati is doing correctly or doing well or not well. Forget about all those things. You just relax, maintain awareness. For your case, you are more maybe intent on developing anapanasati, which can be done. Means you start with a method and a technique to anchor your mind. So when you are doing anapanasati, forget about the anapanasati. Just relax and maintain awareness. Means breathing in, the breath that goes in, the awareness is with it. Initially it's very crude. You cannot be with it because the thought interferes. The thought want to do anapanasati. There is a problem. So relax and maintain awareness. Then the awareness will move with whatever phenomena that is aware. Means your focus is anapanasati. Right? Means like the Buddha's instruction, breathing in, aware. So within that silent awareness, just follow the breath. The awareness and the breath move as one. Until that thing become very stable. Then the sati will build up. Then it will become like slowly move from long breath. The long breath will make you very calm because that breath will keep you in awareness. That one also you haven't done. That's why the thought linger. There's a lot of thought behind actually without you knowing it. But when you have the awareness, when you are in sati, you cannot be lost in thought. Because sati is the basis of awareness, which is the basis of heedfulness. When you stabilize that sati, the mind transforms. It's already the true mind in awareness. No more thought, no more thinking, no more activity and movement. But you didn't go back to that focus. Your, I should say, your conditioned mind about cultivation is like most people think, must go retreat. Then in the retreat, certain thing can happen. Then after that you transform. Nothing wrong with that statement. But then, if you have not even developed the basic progress, sati, that thing cannot happen. So initially you must develop the faith first. Then tell yourself, if others can do it, I also can do it. Then based on your faith, based on your merits, you invoke power of merits. Because you help out a lot, the website, everything, the short video, whatever. And through the years of cultivation, maybe sharing and all those things, even at the retreat, whatever that you have helped out do together with Sui and many other Kalimitas, all these merits, you can make use of them, evoke power of merits for causes and conditions, for you to develop the understanding that leads to the progress in the cultivation. And the first thing you must develop is heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are home. Understand or not? So forget about the theory that this one must reach pasatya. But when it happens, you will understand. But if you look for it, then that mind that every time crave for the progress or the good meditation is actually your thought manifesting again. When your thought is active, you cannot be in sati. That's why when you have faith, you just do. Relax. You forget the key support of relaxation. Just relax. Whether thought arises or what, forget about it. Because the untrained mind is heedless and think a lot. So accept the reality. Don't worry about it, panic and focus and concentrate. Like trying to do anapanasati. Then after how many days only some progress. That is not real progress. The real progress is the moment you are relaxed, the thought will slow down. Witness that slowing down. Then don't try to allow the knowledge to come in when you meditate. When you meditate, just let things be. Then whatever that move, your awareness will pick it up. Understand? Like you say, the lingering thought or whatever. So what? The untrained mind is heedless. That is the reality. So I accept that reality. Then I just let things be. Then I try to develop the four support. Relax. Then maintain the awareness. The awareness and the thought are different, no? Awareness is The awareness within that is aware of all the activity and movement, the thought process, the reaction, the stirring, the whatever perception. That's why to have this ability to be in the state of relax is not easy. Relax means don't try to know, don't try to do. Remember this word. Don't try to know, don't try to do. Just relax, be at ease. Body and mind, feel it completely relaxed. Then observe through the awareness. Then you will see a lot of movement, your thought all slowing down. When you see that, there is real progress, understand? Because this activity of mind, the heedless thinking or thought process or emotion or reaction of mind, they come from delusion, avijja. So if you see that, then you realize if I don't give it any more thought energy to continue this thinking, then this will slow down. Like J. Krishnamurti say, the very flowering of that thought is the very ending of that thought. You understand the meaning of it? When the flower until it cannot flower, means what happened? It will wither, isn't it? That is what is happening. When it cannot flower, means no more thought energy, no more trying to know, trying to do, no more activity to create that thinking. Then the mundane thinking mind will flower and like wither off. It will cease by itself. Then you realize, suddenly like all these things slow down until when you reach a point like no more movement. Yeah. Of course, sometimes I use the word like ting, stop, but no sound. Actually, the activity, the sankhara or the thought all like become very quiet. That is the real awareness. That is the real progress, and that is so much better than all the doing. Understand? That's why you just relax. The real meditation is relax. And my last guide told me, that is the easiest thing to do and people don't know. Relax and enjoy. Understand? Feel good inside. Relax. Silent. No need to know, no need to do. So easy. Instead, people try a lot of funny so-called method of meditation, technique of meditation. Then they try to do this, they try to do that. You see, for people who cannot have this understanding, then they got no choice. Understand? Where they have to anchor the mind. That's why they have method, technique, and whatever. Anapanasati means the method or the technique to anchor the mind. So instead of maintaining awareness, breathing in aware, breathing out aware, they focus. Then they force their breath, like they force it to be long breath or short breath. That is interfering. The thought is trying to do the meditation, and that is not sati, not awareness. Awareness is the thought. You let the thought be. There is no more intention to do anything. That's why I said, don't try to do and don't try to know. The knowing is by the thought. The doing is also by the thought. So just let things be silent. Relax. Feel the relaxation of body and mind. Then maintain the awareness behind. The awareness is not the thought. Whatever that moves, the awareness can detect. But you don't be deceived by that thing. Because when the awareness is aware, you don't perceive. Understand? But initially you cannot, because it's so habitual for you to perceive, then think. Then check with the memory. Is this correct? Am I doing it? Then when you hear something from the talk, you say, you meditate, develop anapanasati until it becomes very quiet, very still. Then you realize pasati, which means mind enters sati. But that one is a natural process that manifests when you have the sati, understand? When you have stabilized the awareness. So through theory, you cannot be in that state. Then you try to look for that state. That's why you find it not easy to settle down. In fact, in the early day, when you just follow instruction, you did better actually. You relax, you lie down, and initially, of course, you snore, you sleep, never mind. But maintain awareness. Just maintain awareness. Have faith, patience. Then all this will happen when you follow the instruction sincerely. And actually, like Pocheng, they all used to share with you. You just follow what Brother Teo say. Don't be too smart and try to do a lot of other interpretation or what. Just follow simple instruction. Relax. Maintain awareness. Then the thing will happen. And it will dawn upon you that actually it's so simple. But people don't believe. Why? Because they have a lot of knowledge. They hear a lot. Then they hear people sharing how people progress. Then they want to get the result. If you do that, you cannot progress. Because these are karmic obstruction from the past. Where you have been doing this and you have been maybe so conditioned until that habitual tendency is so strong. Thus I need to ask for forgiveness, then evoke power merits for causes and conditions to develop the understanding for you to progress along the path of Dhamma and Bhavana, Maya, Panya, so that you can realize this sati leading to stability and to be heedful. The moment you are heedful, you are home already. No need to learn anything. Through the heedfulness, throughout the day, your daily mindfulness, like what I taught Chan and Waifan, once that sati come, they will understand themselves, they will learn themselves. Then all the words that I share will become different, become very clear. Where that come from the silent mind, the true mind. Okay? Luckily you report, because otherwise you will continue to move along that conditioned thinking of meditation, which is involving the thought. That's why I find that you have difficulty in making progress. It's not because you don't have the parami, but you have the parami, but you don't know how to invoke that parami to help you develop this. And to develop this, you must tell yourself, if what you have been doing in the past is not helping you, then you must listen attentively and change your way of doing things. Like song. When he first came, he was really bewildered. Because the first 5-6 years, he realized, he listened. All that he has learned in the past is so different from what I teach. Not until when he finally becomes serious, the Heart Sutta, the appendix, I forgot what it is, the note 3 or what, 3. He just take that section where he find it very important, all about J. Krishnamurti, Sati, mindfulness, awareness. Then, when the condition is right at what Machan, because of the Heart Sutta, the chanting, the Pali version and all that, then that thing trigger off. Then when he read, different already. Because when that thing trigger off, he connect back actually. Then the sati came. That's why without the sati, all this cannot happen. Then when he read, different already. That's why after that he developed the faith. Then I told him, all this is the beginning. After that I said, technically he don't need a teacher. He will find his way and his understanding. But with the guide, he will speed it up and all things. That initially the easiest trap or the very common trap is after they connect and develop the initial understanding, they still go back to the thinking process. They still want the thought to arise and analyze. So the analysis and the reasoning using the thought is the one that trapped him for quite a while. Because I keep on repeating and sound it out to him that it's still the thought coming back through the back door. Because after he developed this ability to understand, he believed once you have the understanding, you cannot do the wrong thing already. Understand? It's not so fast on the other side. Well, initially it will like come and test you. Then it will manifest in different form to actually trap you. Then if you keep on continuing to analyze with the thought and do all the reasoning, why like that, why like that, why like that, then you will get trapped. So that is the next phase. That's why the first phase, you must develop the faith, and invoke power of merit, ask for forgiveness, to have the causes and condition to free your old habitual tendency and so-called wrong way of approaching the meditation. But that one is thought-based. You cannot come out of it. So when you determine to aditan for causes and condition, then invoke power of merits, for you to develop the stability of mindfulness leading to heedfulness. Then the rest will come very naturally. So that one is more important. So once you do that, then change over to your new way of meditating. No more looking for things, no more trying to know, just relax, maintain awareness. Then you want to go to anapanasati, the awareness will do the meditation. Means the awareness that is aware of the breathing in and breathing out, it will move by itself. And don't try to know whether you do it correctly or you have progress or not. No need. The key is whether you are relaxed and whether you are without thought or not. If you still have thought, don't fight the thought. But the untrained might think a lot. That's it. Nothing wrong. You have not trained. So when you have this understanding where you don't resist, then you realize the thought will slow down. Where you no longer want to do using the thought, or know using the thought, or analyze using the thought. Once the thought is no longer active, means your state of mind, which is the meditative state, is awareness before the knowing, before the rising of thought. So this awareness, like what J. Krishnamurti say, the very flowering of that thought within the awareness is the very ending of that thought. So the thought always is slow down. Then the awareness will see it, understand it. Then there is a lot of joy. Where for the first time your mind becomes so quiet, not because you focus or concentrate, or your anapanasati doing very well. It's because your mind that has the understanding maintain just the awareness behind. Don't do anything. And this is how you progress. And this is how you have the free mind that is without thought. And yet, not in concentration, not focusing, not doing anything, just the awareness. But from there, the thought arises very fast. So see that. Then you will come to know you have two minds. The pure awareness, which is your true mind, and the stirring and the movement that arise from that. That is what Huining's first Homage is all about. You have come to realize the hallmark of no thought. Means 无念的境界. When you realize that, then you realize actually everything that manifests arises from that nature. That nature creates all the thinking. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things. Then you start to understand the teaching. Then you realize all the manifestation and creation is from the thought, the mundane mind, the mano. And that is not your true mind. But the awareness that is aware of all this movement is the one that gives you the understanding and the wisdom. And that is the purifying force. That's why the pure awareness, without thought, without duality, purify and allow the mind to remain. Well, this is your true mind. Originally, it was like that. Nothing, just pure awareness. 本来无一物，何处惹尘埃? All these dots are created by the thought. So this understanding is very important. Always zero in on sati, leading to stability of it, means ever mindful. If you are not ever mindful, you cannot. You have not started. And the heedless are as if dead. So mindfulness is the beginning. After that, stabilize it to be ever mindful, then use it to observe and develop the understanding and the wisdom. And that is the meditative part. The meditative part is a silent mind observing truth. Silent observation of the reality of what is. And when you can do that, when you see things as they are, you understand the Buddha's teaching, the 12 links, the Four Noble Truths, the Precepts. All this through observation. And who observes? Nobody observes. It's the awareness that is aware of all this movement observe. Then you start to understand how living beings become what they are. When they perceive something through their senses, they react and stir their mind. They become emotional, fearful. They develop the like and dislike, pleasure. So all this movement is due to wrong view. Then you realize, without wrong view, if I can accept things as they are, means the world is the world, people is just the way they are, then I am always at peace. And that is wisdom. Means your mind need not stir anymore. And that is what Yoniso Manasikara is all about. The wisdom. Once you understand that, then you just let things be. Whatever arises, that is the causes and condition behind, and let things be. Then you just observe. The silent observation of what is going on gives you the understanding. Then you start to understand all this emotion, fear, anger, hatred, sorrow, lamentation, they are not intrinsic. They arise through wrong thought. Then when they arise, if you don't give it any more meaning, you just maintain awareness. The third way is cease. Means what? Means the emotion is dependent originating, condition arising, not you. Anger is not you, fear is not you. Then why you worry about it arising like your heedless thinking? Why you worry about it arising? Because you have not trained your mind. That's why it manifests. And whatever manifests within the pure awareness nature is creation. It's the mundane activity of the mundane mind. And see it clearly. That one is with the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. You attach, cling, and wanting your way, you suffer. And because they are impermanent, they arise dependent on causes and conditions. That's why the Paticca Samuppada will actually give you the understanding how all this movement happen. And you see, that's how wisdom come to be. Then with that wisdom, the mind releases itself and will not be influenced or affected. May not deceived by the phenomenal world, not deceived by whatever arises within your senses perception. Where these are all mind-made. Condition arising phenomena, entity, no reality. That's why finally you will realize there no mark. No mark of a self, no mark of others, and no mark of whatever that exists within the existential world. Well, all these are creation, mark created by the mundane thinking mind. There is no reality within. That's why the penetrative awakening to the three universal characteristics will bring you to the second hallmark of healing. You will realize the no mark state means 无相的境界. So the 无相 is very important. That mark that arises through the thought process or the mundane thinking is a delusion created by the mundane mind through its own accumulated views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, and whatever knowledge that it has accumulated. And that is not wisdom. The wisdom is the silent mind that observes, see, and understand, and awaken. That is wisdom. Okay? Yeah. Hopefully it will help you. Listen to this again. It will help you. Almost 10:30 already. You want to conclude? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Sadhu,
okay.
sadhu.
Sadhu. So let us rejoice with the good condition. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So understanding is very important. When you understand, you will know how to meditate. When you don't understand, you're wasting your time majorly. Because this thought-based meditation is not easy to come out. Because you are so conditioned by the what they call habitual tendency of doing things, the karmic conditioning. That thing keep on coming back and haunt the living being. That's why to change over to a new way of living life, a new understanding is not easy. Okay? So listen to this again, it will help you. In fact, today the instruction for meditation is very important. You go and listen. Today one, actually I summarize it in a very different way. But if you listen to it attentively, you will develop the understanding very fast. Then you will know how to meditate. Okay, so we will do the sharing of merits. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika panyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu loka sasana Itta vata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita punyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu Sukita hontu nyatayo devo satukalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu Yawa nirvana patiya sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guardian Bodhisattva and all the worthy ones. There we end. Sadhu.